What's going on, man?
Hey,
Thanks for being on the podcast.
thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You know, when I see someone has a goal to be on a podcast, I say, let's make it mine.
Yeah, I had a couple manifestations this year, like big, giant, like things that I wanted to make happen. In addition to health, fitness, business stuff,
Yeah.
but just real specific things. This is one of them.
Yeah.
Being interviewed on a podcast, video, some type of content like this.
sure.
To kind of utilize it to just hit buyers, sellers, people with a different avenue of communication.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that's crazy right now is like how I think it's really hard for people in business now, because especially real estate agents, like how do you hit people now? Is it the mailers? Is it email? Is it text? Is it this? Is it video content? Is it social? Is it LinkedIn? Is it it's like it drives you crazy how many things you can go down, and then it's like, oh, this didn't work for the first month. Okay, I'm gonna jump to this. I'm gonna jump to that. And,
yeah.
So.
Or do 100, half-ass, or
For sure.
or focus. It's hard to.
Or with the mic not plugged in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's we've done it so many times, and I have a videographer, and I still get worried. I'm like, oh god, I hope that.
It's the worst.
Or I'll see him touch the camera. I'm like, was I not in focus? He's like, no, you weren't. I'm like, oh, well, it's
Whatever.
Good.
That's fine.
That's
good.
Fine. It's like it's good I screwed that one up.
Yeah.
It's like I was really hoping you'd screw it up.
Yeah.
So you've been in the industry for 11 years.
Yeah.
What made you get in?
Yeah, about 11. So it's kind of random, but I was a soccer athlete in college. Then I worked for my athletic department. This was back in the time where the state wasn't in a good financial situation.
Yeah.
So they would hire you on during the school year and then kind of fire you off during the summer type situation to save money. So I had to re-interview for my position within
Every
the
year?
athletic department.
That's crazy.
I only did it for a year, but then and then that same day basically interviewed with a family friend who owned a brokerage down in San Diego, just a small shop. And I was like, hey, it's equal pay, equal opportunities. And, just figured might as well learn something different. I can probably always go back to this and learn something different. The opportunities there. So I jumped. It was like an assistant office manager type, which I think was huge for me, just kind of learning contracts and stuff like that. And then kind of slowly morphed into getting licensed, still being an assistant, and then just kind of progressing from there. And then we had a partnership of 3 agents. And
nice.
And then just a few years back, we kind of went different directions, and so I've been kind of solo for the past 3 years. So.
It's crazy. I think that is the one mistake I see all new agents is they never take the time to learn actual real estate.
Yeah.
I think that is so valuable to know a contract, know how it works, because that just gives you confidence. So when you're talking to people, you can answer questions and you feel confident about meeting more people and going those direction.
1,000%. I saw more contracts before I even took the test, did any of the classes or anything like that. And real estate stuff, and then, marketing stuff and how to send letters to clients, whatever it may be, just all different aspects of it, which was huge, you know?
So you've been in the industry, I'm 6, so 5 years longer than I've been. So you've actually, have you seen a massive shift? I've felt a massive shift in the last 6 years. I feel like clients, it's impossible to update everyone enough because I don't know if it's the Amazon effect. 2 days later, this has to happen. It's dude, sometimes this takes 5 to 7 days. Appraisal takes sometimes 6 days to get back to us.
Yeah.
Have you seen a big shift from when you first started with clients and how the market is to now?
Yeah. I mean, I for sure see that, the speed of everything. And I think what's key for that is just kind of prior to it, just outlining the definition of the expectation, whether positive, negative, whatever it may be. These are the different options that can happen. Worst case scenario, best case scenario, or probably somewhere in between most of the time. So I think that's huge. But yeah, I mean, everybody's wants something super fast, and I think people are fairly patient. I mean, people are surprised also that, it can get done in 30 days. So it kind of goes back and forth.
I always love when clients freak out this is moving too fast. I'm like, so did you not want to get any offers on your house?
Right. Oh yeah. I
you'd rather us sit on the market for 3 weeks with no showings? Right now is really the first time since 2020 after we opened back up that I have a listing that's been on the market 5 days and I haven't had a showing on it yet. I'm is everything working?
Right.
And then I have to remind myself, we're just kind of going back to a normal market now.
Yeah.
And we just kind of forget that, in 2018, this happened, 17, we just haven't felt it for 2.5 years now. So, I'm having to remind myself, well, cool. We've been on the market 5 days. Yeah, we haven't had, and it was Easter weekend, and like, you know, last year and the year before there was no holidays.
Right.
Christmas you could have sold a house.
Oh yeah, what was it? 2020, November, December were like the hottest, like crazy.
Where I'm like, dude, I love my slow Decembers.
Yeah.
Kind of gives you like a break.
I've kind of noticed mine are like January, February.
Those are your slow times?
Yeah.
Me too. I always have a slow January, February.
Yeah.
One of those, like closing wise, like each year it's like it's January, February. Normally it's February because like things will roll over from January into or December into January.
Exactly. Yep.
I always wish that there was like one day a week where you could do no real estate. Like if it was like Saturday or Sunday or Wednesday or whatever, like no showings were allowed.
Yeah.
Ever. It was against the law.
Right.
Everyone was closed.
Chick-fil-A
yeah,
Sundays.
Chick-fil-A Wednesdays real estate. Because it would be like nothing. Like nothing can be done on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
You can't show a house. You can't talk negotiation.
Yeah.
Agents can't talk to each other.
Right. Yeah.
Nothing can be done on a Wednesday.
Yeah. It's like the purge. But
yeah, exactly.
Opposite. Yeah.
But with nothing. Because I don't think people realize, you know, do you get hit up a lot from people wanting to get in real estate?
A little bit.
Oh,
yeah, a little
that's
bit
my
here and
number
there.
one thing.
I believe it. Yeah.
If I could get paid, any person ever text me to say I want to get into real estate, I'd be rich.
Right.
But I always say like you just don't. All your clients are on different times. Some text you at 5 a.m. because that's when they're going to work. Some text you when they get off of work at 8 o'clock at night. Like, I don't think clients also realize that it's like we're not just working with you. We're working with, 10 people and having to go get more business. So it's like, I think nowadays a full-time assistant, if you're a producing agent, is so key.
Yeah, it makes sense. I just got back from vacation like last week. I was on vacation for 7 or 8 days in a different time zone. So I was in Hawaii. So 3 hours different time zone. And,
so you're getting up at 4.
Inevitably, the real estate adage that you're just going to get your most busiest when you go to leave on vacation.
Yeah, if you have no deals, go on vacation.
Yeah, exactly. Someone once told me that have a kid too. If you want to get really busy in the business, have a kid. And that twice I can definitely attest to that. So it's fun. It's it's a blessing and curse, right? But definitely welcome it. It's just funny how it kind of works out.
It's I had Anthony Andre on the podcast a few weeks ago. He's a longtime title rep, and we were laughing because it's like when things are great, you're so busy in real estate that you don't have time to enjoy the moment. And then when things slow down, you work even more because it's like there's never like the like perfect like smooth sailing.
Yeah, it's hard to keep a medium for sure.
Yeah, so how have you been able to hang in this game for 11 years? Because obviously we see a lot of turnover, 95% fail rate in the first 3 years. Most people don't stay in the industry longer than 7. Like, how have you been able to like maintain for a new agent or someone in their 5th to 6th year? Because there's always times I want to quit.
Yeah.
How have you been able to maintain to this for 11 years already?
I think my start definitely helped out, just kind of like easing into the process and learning how to get clients, learning how to get offers accepted, stuff like that. That kind of eased me into the process. I was, on salary for a couple of those first years and stuff, and then just kind of eased into the partnership. And I think that that's been huge. And I learned how to be consistent and how to just be like a good person and stuff like that. So I think that was huge. But my thing is just consistency. I mean, whether it's like my farm that I work or, online, social stuff, it's just consistency. Really.
Yeah. Are you liking not having a team, or did you like having a team more?
It's just different. You know what I mean? Like before I could go out of town and not have to deal with anything whatsoever. And then, otherwise you can make all of your own decisions and kind of just, base it off that, so and then just obviously the numbers line up differently and stuff like that. But,
it's definitely teams are a thing of it's not meant for everyone.
What's your structure?
I'm just me.
Okay.
A full-time assistant.
Okay.
My full-time videographer. I have a graphic designer, and then I have a showing agent, so she shows properties and does open houses for me.
Got it.
If my perfect world that me and this guy named Alex Wing, who's out of San Francisco, talk about all the time is the SEAL Team 6. And what we mean by that is like 6 just killer agents. Like I hate working alone, to be honest. I don't like that I'm the only agent in my office, but I don't want people. Like I love real estate so much, and that's why I love doing this podcast, because I get to talk to high level real estate agents. Because that's fun for me. Like I love being like, what are you doing? What I'm doing? What are you seeing?
Sure.
What are you doing?
For sure.
Like that is so cool to me. Like that is like, dude, you give me a cocktail and like 5 killer agents in a room, like literally I'd be like, I'm a kid in a candy store, like I'll be there until 5 a.m. Like I don't even care. So that would be the perfect world, like 5 agents plus me that, you know, I do 40 to 50 deals a year. They would do 20 plus deals a year, and and I made no money off of them. We maybe split the overhead, but we are just able to feed off of each other, and the energy. And then like, hey, I need help with this. Can you help me with that? Hey, I need help. And it's just like that team effort. I don't think people, I think that's another mistake a lot of agents make. It's all about them. When you'll start realizing the bigger you get, it's less of you, you know, like in a transaction, like I don't even really talk to my clients that much unless there's a problem. Like my assistant does everything.
Right. Yeah.
But I have to have her because I have to go get more business.
Yeah.
And I got to do this, and I got to make content, and I got to do all these other things. So it's like the bigger you get, the less it's you. The only way you can be just you, that means you're not doing enough deals.
Yeah.
It's like I have to have a showing agent and someone to work my open houses. I can't be like, we had opened a listing last week, a listing this week, a listing next week, a listing like I can't do that.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. No, believe me, I hear you for
you
sure.
know what I mean? And then that's when you know, pull your hair out.
It's like a line that you kind of reach, and I'm kind of at that point, right, where it's like it's you know, if to take the next step exponentially almost, you know, it's
and some of it is what people don't get to is sometimes it's like I'm bringing on an assistant, which is, you know, like I was playing golf with a guy one time as a real estate agent. I opened like 2 escrows in one day.
Yeah.
Didn't touch my phone all day.
Yeah.
And he was dealing with like one deal, and he's like on the phone nonstop.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, how do you do it? And I'm like, I pay someone a salary every single year,
right.
$50,000-$60,000 a year to manage this stuff for me.
Yeah.
Does she give me more business? Maybe. But does she make my life better?
Right.
And will I be able to last longer in this industry? Of course.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the thing, is it's time or money. You can do one or the other. Like for me, there's a reason why everything for me is based on time.
Yeah.
Every decision I make.
Yeah.
Why I live 3 blocks from my office.
Yeah.
I don't have to commute to work. 3 days. I walk to the office, boom. Walk back, boom. Why this place none of my sets, you notice, no sets get taken down.
Yeah.
Because if I want to shoot a video,
no, for sure. Yeah.
If I want to shoot a video, we grab the camera and go. If we had to like move light, I buy extra lights. I don't even want to move this light from this room to another room.
Yeah. No,
because that will cause some hiccup.
Yeah. One extra hurdle.
One extra hurdle where that little hurdle might not make me want to do it.
Yeah, like if someone just walked in, you could start
literally
recording.
you walk in, I go, okay, let's go right now.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Like if you're like, hey, I'm outside,
right.
Can I roll up? Yeah, sure. Hey, let's jump into the podcast room really quick.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's do it.
For sure.
But that's me paying Adrian every single day, you know.
How do you find those people?
Adrian was luck. I had another videographer for him. I met him through a buddy of mine who's a big time Christian rapper.
Okay.
And I brought him on, Brant. And then Brant brought on Adrian because we were just making so much content. Then COVID hit. Brant was wanting to go travel and do like off-roading videos. I said, cool. So then we just kept Adrian. Brittany was an office assistant at my first brokerage I ever worked at. I left. I kept her as my TC. And then I was going through other assistants, and I just couldn't find that person because we really didn't. It was like almost slowing things down because me and Brittany were so dialed in on things. And I was like, what would it cost me just to get you full time? Yeah. And we figured out a number, and because she loves working with me and I love working with her.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it worked. My showing agent is a school teacher. I know her boyfriend, and he saw a post of me saying, I'm looking for someone to do this for me. And she's like, that would work perfect for me.
There you go.
So it's trial and error. It's hire quickly, fire faster. Yeah. You know, it really is. So where's your next, you think, decision you make? A full-time assistant?
I think so. Yeah. At least some type of assistant.
You at least have a TC, right?
Yeah, I have a TC. Okay. Yeah. I've had my TC for like 7-8 years. Yeah. The same one.
Do you think you could maybe ask her to go into?
No, she's like full-time, like, you know, people all over the place. Yeah. TC, you know what I mean? Like that's her gig. And she's down in Orange County. So,
well, my assistant lives in Tennessee. So.
Okay. Well, there you go. Yeah.
So for me, like
TC, yeah, no problem. Yeah.
She like, so it's interesting because she'll do more of in transactionals, and I'll be the one like stuffing mailers. Yeah. And then people are like, why? I'm like, I'm not doing nothing else. Right. I just stuff some mailers and mail them out myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she just only handles transactions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sets up showings and all that stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it's definitely a game changer for sure.
Yeah.
Do you want to build another team with agents and stuff?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, yeah, people approach like, oh, like you work for Keller Williams. What, like you should start your own thing, whatever. It's like, yeah, there's pluses and minuses, right? I mean, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. So, you know, legalities and stuff like that. But, yeah, I don't know. I think like mine would probably be closer to where you're looking at, like maybe one or two that just we kind of work together in a situation, type situation. Not like this tiered thing, but yeah, I would need like to be tight with them, you know, rather than just be this overhead type thing.
For sure.
Because that takes time too, you know, so that takes time away from your business. And
well, and it's like I hate answering dumb questions. I'd rather have like answer like higher end questions than just hire like how do I write an offer?
Yeah,
like that question for me is like I don't even write my own offers.
Yeah, I mean,
so I actually have no idea.
It's fun to educate for sure, but yeah, every day it might be difficult.
Yeah, and because then it takes away time for you, and then
exactly,
you know,
yeah.
Then are you buying leads right now on Zillow or
no? So I bought.
That's the other thing too. Like you'd have to like everyone wants leads.
Yeah, see that's what I've always wondered about the team structures. Yeah, I mean like
everyone
you got to feed them, you know, like
you got to feed them leads.
That's how you gain the team and keep it going. So no, I've bought leads from Trulia back in the day for like 6 months.
Yeah,
got one deal out of it, so in theory it paid for itself, and it was one of the worst transactions that I've done. Yeah, you know, and it started as a residential purchase and somehow morphed into a commercial purchase. So got it done, but yeah, it was you know, it just wasn't.
It's just so hard. Running down online leads is so difficult. It's a beast that no one knows it until you're doing it. Yeah, it is like you just think about like going on first dates like every day. And then getting ghosted, and then you still have to keep like texting that person and calling that person and texting that.
It's got to be a system, you know, like hit it from different angles and stuff like that.
You have to have so many systems in place, and I'm not a great system guy.
Yeah.
I have to bring in people to help me build my systems because like that's just not my skill set.
Yeah. And you talked about it. You're like, you know, your follow up and stuff like that. It's I think you're kind of like me in the sense of like I'm here for you if and when you would like to utilize me, but I have a hard time like forcing it down your throat.
For sure. I mean, I think I never want to be the guy where you walk into a barbecue and people are like, "Oh, great."
Yeah.
That's kind of like always been my mindset.
Yeah.
And it's worked for me.
Yeah.
You know, I think I would change my mindset if it wasn't working.
Yeah.
But it works. So it's like I'll just keep doing this way.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable doing it this way. Yeah. So I mean, I think like I'm not a great I've never cold called or door knocked. Like for me, it's like I'd rather just shoot educational content, make my followers think I'm the smartest real estate agent they know, and then when they need a real estate question, you know, it does suck because then I get hit up all the time like, "Hey, I'm in escrow right now." Great,
right?
You know, I'm in escrow right now, and this happened. What should I do? I'm like, you know what? Like I've actually cut back on that. Now I just say like legally I cannot help you.
No,
you need to call your agent.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you don't, and if this doesn't work out, and you obviously don't, I just call people out. You obviously are not confident in your agent knowing what to do because you're calling me.
Yeah.
If this doesn't work out, maybe we could do a deal together.
Right. We'll chat then.
Chat then. But like I've actually started turning down real estate agents asking me for real estate advice too. You know, I'm kind of over that too. Like I just go like. I'll have like, how do I get my first listing? I'll like go see who they work for, and I'll be like, you know what? That's a great question to go ask so and so.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Because it's like, dude, I'm like, unless you're gonna pay me or come work for me, I just don't have the time to go back and forth 10 text messages on how do you get your first listing or how do you do this or because I know you're not gonna do it anyway. So
that's
you know what I mean?
Thing. Yeah.
And then I go like, well, and then they'll say this, and I'm like, then you're working for the wrong person.
Yeah.
And then I'm honest with them. Like, this is a really hard market. It's hard for me.
It's crazy hard.
It's super hard. I'm so tired of people telling me, like, oh, it must be nice. No. I'm like, okay, run buyers around for 8 months, and then they end up getting priced out of the market, and they think it's your fault that you haven't got an offer accepted, or, you know, no one wants to sell their house, and then now you're competing against every listing. It's not easy.
Yeah, I've had a bunch of people, talking about the market and stuff. Just the other day, I was out doing some door hangers, and guy said, "Oh, it must be great market for you." I'm like, "Yes, in theory, as a set listing agent, yeah, it's fantastic.
The price, the commission checks are great, but they're definitely fewer and far between.
And it's fantastic to sell a house in 3 days, and we market it $100,000 over list price or whatever it may be. But we work with buyers as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's time draining. It's emotionally draining, you know, at times. You feel bad for these buyers that just can't get into a house and after a year. And, yeah, so it's tough. I think you could ask any real estate agent. We'd love kind of some normalcy in the market for sure. You know,
I think the best market, and like that's the thing now, we're not even going in the market. The Fed jumps up rates 1.5 points in 3.5 months. Like, it is crazy to me how out of touch the federal government is with rates. Like, they don't know what they're doing. Like, they jammed it up on us in 2018, just like they did now. It stopped the market. Then they could have slowly raised rates over the last year. They could have slowly raised rates. But no, inflation numbers go,
Yeah.
Now we got to jam up rates.
True. Yeah.
1.5 points in a market. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's like, guys, like, can we just slowly but surely do this?
Yeah. I know you mentioned like, you know, you had like you're saying, like some listings are actually sitting for a couple days now. Are you seeing like that pretty significant? Like,
you know what's crazy?
People keep asking me, and I'm just like, not yet.
No.
When I'm writing offers, I'm still competing like pretty crazy. So
I think this week was just a little messed up because of Easter.
yeah,
So it's like we dropped on a holiday weekend. I don't know about most schools, but like this is actually not a great time to list, like, because like I don't have kids, but my friends' kids are on spring break this week, so people are going out of town.
Yeah.
Other kids I know are testing this week, so you're not looking at housing this weekend. So you just have a lot going on right now. Graduations are coming up, like, so right now it's like we're just kind of, and rates have jumped up to 5. So I think I just sold a house 50 grand above asking price. I have another listing coming up tomorrow. I already had 3 people call me wanting to see it.
Yeah.
I have a Hoopa Valley coming up next week. It's like, so I think what's is going to happen is you're not going to be able to overprice houses in itself.
Yeah.
1,
super
so you
important.
have to be super careful on your pricing.
Yeah.
2, and sellers, like, starting high and then going lower is not the benefit for you.
Had that
Start low
conversation
and then go up.
yesterday.
I had 2, same thing.
Yep.
And then 2, the nicest house in the block will always sell. It will. The nicest house in the block will always sell. The lower, crappier house, you're just not gonna get top dollar for it anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Anymore.
The crappier house is just, so if your house sucks, you're not gonna get market comps. You're gonna get 25 below now.
Yeah.
Because what people don't get is with rates going up with mortgage rates, and rates going up on credit cards, and rates going up on everything else. So if I'm buying a house that needs 50 grand worth of work and I don't have that extra 50, or I'm gonna go put it on a credit card at 7% interest rate now or whatever, and now that, you know, so I think that's the thing, which I was just talking to my partner here. I think that's going to make more people sell because now they're not going to be able to refi, pull out equity, and do things to their houses. So now they're like, well, shoot, I can't do that. Why don't I just sell my house and then just go buy a house with a pool?
Interesting.
Because they're not going to be able to pull out. No one's going to. You have a 2.5.
Yeah.
You're not going to pull out equity. Like,
that's hard. I mean, yeah, it goes both ways. It's like, that's part of the inventory problems, right? In my opinion, it's like, you know, these people have crazy low rates, and yeah, they can move up, but there's not a lot.
There's nothing on the market for them to move up
to move up. It's like they may be willing to pay, like they may be willing to pay the big price,
but there's nothing.
But there's not.
They're
like,
pickier.
Exactly.
Everyone's going to become more pickier.
Yeah.
Which I agree, because like, just become pickier, because if the market flattens out or dips, you're still going to be happy with what you're living in.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Because no one cares about money. And I've said this on every podcast. Like, no one cares about money, because if they did, we wouldn't have an inventory shortage. Everyone would be selling their houses.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you talk to people all the time. Oh, I'd love to sell.
Oh, I have so much equity. Equity is nothing until you sell it.
Yeah.
All right.
Or cash out refi.
Or cash out refi. So do you think the market's going to crash?
No.
Okay.
No.
Why?
I think it's just the inventory versus demand thing, right? Like, just typical. Like, we have this conversation all the time. I just feel like there's nothing available, and I mean, I can't imagine rates are going to get that crazy to where it's just going to completely explode. Now, I always say this, barring any, you know, geopolitical thing or anything crazy to happen in the world. Something crazy in the world happened in the world 2 years ago, and the market went in a different direction. So
I totally screwed that one up. I totally made a video saying the market was going to crash.
I was scared. I
was like, the market's crashing, and I was completely wrong.
Like, how am I going to show a house again? You know what I mean? Like, how am I going to, like, that's how it felt, you know, and how are we going to sell? And, there were some weird situations. I had a weekend, I showed a buyer, I didn't even show them. I sent them there. The seller left, the door unlocked, the buyer went in by themselves. We FaceTime while we were there. I didn't go home and spend, it was just weird times.
God, I wish we could go back to those.
Do
times.
anything. And then the day before we were supposed to close escrow, she gets furloughed. She was a nurse.
Yeah.
Like, of all things, right?
Yeah.
So fortunately, there was that. I can't even remember what the addendum was now, but
the addendum where if anything caused COVID to lose your job at any time, you could cancel and get your earnest money. Yeah.
That addendum came out 2 days before we wrote the offer, included in the offer.
Yeah.
Luckily, it was the worst situation because the sellers had already
they
already had a lease into the next property, and so they were on their way to their new lease because they were selling their house, and I have to call the listing agent and say, hey, we just can't happen.
Yeah, that happened to us too.
It's crazy.
It's so crazy. I think it's funny, this weekend I actually got sucked into some YouTube videos with some guys like massive foreclosures are coming, 30% price and drop it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, like your numbers that you're posting can be totally argued the other way.
Yeah.
And I think that I was talking to a loan officer the other day. I'm like, if your followers are not knowing what's going on in the market, that's a you problem because you're not posting content. And your one post a week or one video a month or your one letter that goes out a month, like your clients or followers or whatever are consuming content every day. Every day they're on you. I got sucked into it. I watched like 10 market crash videos this weekend. Like I was like, oh my God, the world's going to an end. Like, and then I have to be like, whoa, like let's break this. But if you know nothing,
right?
And you,
it sounds good,
and no one's disputing these people, then and two, what they don't understand is in this world, those videos get the most views. My videos that say market's crashing always get the most views on YouTube.
Yeah.
I can make those videos every day. But like that doesn't benefit me as a real estate agent.
Yeah. How do you like get good views and followership?
I don't.
You have decent subscribers though.
I do. It's just consistency. I have one video that has like 30,000 views.
Oh, okay.
And it's how to show a house as a buyer's agent.
Yeah.
Have no idea why that video is done well. The audio, everyone complains the music's too loud, which it is. It wasn't our best video we've ever made, and I don't know why but every day I get 200 views every day of that video. And one day that video will probably get to, I don't know, maybe 100,000 views.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is, I would say most people like rely on YouTube. I would say like if I was just a producing agent, I would never post on YouTube. Just because the time effort it takes to make a YouTube video and the views you're going to get based on where those people are from, probably never going to bring you business unless we're actually, I mean, I'm totally going to contradict myself because we're totally starting a YouTube channel just for buyers, but that's a whole nother story.
Yeah.
But like just making content for the people that already know you on a daily basis. So like reels, videos on Facebook, those kind of things. I think that is time per dollar or whatever, your best ROI is to make content for Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn because those people already know you. Yeah. They're in your area. They're the best chance people are going to hire you. Because then you're just competing against them and their other two friends that are realtors. So for me, I know what I could make videos to get sexy videos. Like I know what I could do to a lot of views, but like that doesn't benefit me as a real estate agent. I don't care about views. I care about the mess. Like right now, I got a text today. Hey, can you show me this house on not LinkedIn, but Instagram? Yeah. And he's worked with other agents. He's told me, and he's like, hey, can you show me these two houses this weekend? Yeah, no problem. Why did he leave his other agents to come to me? Right. Maybe because he likes all the content I post.
The video pop.
Video.
The last video that popped up. Yeah.
I don't know. Sure. So I think I don't even look at views or comments or likes. Yeah. I will say I do like. I've been seeing more realtors sharing my content than ever before. Like where? Like they share like my reels on their stories all the time.
Well, because this is why. Yeah. Because you're putting the work on the stats, whatever the situation is, and so then they don't have to,
but then. And they're my friends. They don't tag me, jerks. You know what I mean? So then they can't even.
Well, that's part of being free Instagram. You know what I mean?
For sure. I think that's the thing too. Is like people want to complain, oh, the algorithm or this. It's like, dude, pay to play. Pay to play. Yeah. Pay. it's like it's a free platform.
Yeah.
And like I could make videos that get more views. I just don't want to. Like I could post cars. I could go to $1 million listings out in Orange County and take reels of that, and I could do. But how's that going to benefit me selling houses out here? It's just not.
It can be a start though. You know, I've seen a ton of people start like that. You know.
Yeah, but
I don't.
Yeah, but
you're not there.
I'm a real estate agent.
Yeah.
I don't want to be an influencer.
Yeah.
I'm a real estate agent.
I want to sell my listings.
I want to sell houses in my market, like because I think the other thing is like what happens one day when like you got to keep shooting those videos over. You know, I don't know. I like what I do.
Yeah, I'm interested like with consistency. You know, when the market does shift, whatever that means. Yeah. You know, like the drop off of part-time.
Oh, we're for sure going to see a drop off in loan officers. That's 100% happening because there's no refi business anymore. So if you were living on refi business, you're done.
What about realtors? Oh,
for sure. It's hard, dude. But here's the thing: it's been hard for 3 years now. The only difference is that when you do close a check, you know, I'm selling houses for like on average now $600,000 to $700,000 in Riverside. That's a $12,000 to $21,000 check.
Yeah.
Like my lifestyle, I can't survive on one deal a month, but 99% of other people could.
Yeah.
You know, so I think we'll all if prices stay high, we'll always keep having those agents. Because think about it, you close 3 deals a year, say at $10,000 a pop, that's $60,000 a year.
Yeah.
Like if you have zero lifestyle, or you're just a part-time agent, and your husband works, your wife works, like why would you ever leave?
So maybe the drop off won't be as crazy because
I don't think it will be
because the prices aren't
are so
unless
high.
The prices drop like crazy. Yeah,
which I don't see happening.
Yeah. Interesting.
I wish that it was like I always say this. I wish it was like $10,000 a year or $20,000 a year to renew your real estate license.
Well, yeah.
Because if that happened, we would then see tons of people leave the industry.
you see the drop off every year.
I know.
Come around that time. Oh, $1,000 or whatever. I don't even know what it is. You know.
Oh, it's terrible. So I always laugh. I always laugh at like NAR and CAR and the boards and all brokerages, Keller Williams centric.
Yeah.
I go, you know, you guys really suck. We have a 95% fail rate in the first 3 years, and all you guys never change anything.
Yeah.
Like if you were a CEO of any company and you had a 95% fail rate, you would be fired immediately.
Yeah.
But there's always more realtors.
Yeah.
How do you handle that? Like at Keller Williams, obviously, like you have your few top agents, but you also have a lot of people. So do you just not go to the office so much? Like, how do you leverage the network?
Yeah. So, I do not go to the office. Like I go to pick up a check that wasn't direct deposit or, you know, whatever it may be. It's tough. It's, you know, I come from Orange County, so I was bottom of the barrel. Like I worked in one of like the top boutique Newport Beach offices for a while. So I saw some craziness out there. So that was kind of cool to see. And then, I mean, I'm definitely a top agent in the office and have been since I moved over there. And that doesn't mean I'm crazy producing agent. It just means that, you know, there's a lot of agents in our office and a lot are just there to hang their license somewhere in case a deal comes up type thing. So, I mean, to your point about like that SEAL team versus the water cooler where you're just dealing with, you know, silly questions. Yeah. I mean, that's one of those time things where it's just like, get that, you know, out of me and just be as efficient as possible. I don't have a lot of time, especially with the 2 kids now.
Oh yeah.
And so I've become more efficient with my time since then. It's like back in the day, I was like, man, when I like had no kids or, you know, whatever it may be, like I slacked off a lot. You know what I mean? Like I thought I was working hard, but I was sitting at my office desk, just like doing, I don't know what, you know? So now it's like anytime like I'm leaving or any efficiency time that I have is
So you just work at home then?
Yeah, just work at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you struggle with working at home? Like how old are your kids?
1 and 3.
So do you struggle working at home from distractions?
It's hard. COVID has been a positive and a negative for our family. My wife's worked at home since then. During part of that time we had a child, so she was on maternity leave, but we've both worked from home 24/7 since March of 2020, right? So it's great And it's tough because, you know, we kind of bounce the kids back and forth throughout the day. One goes to daycare, but our 1-year-old hasn't kind of started that yet. So it's definitely tough, but working on getting more efficient on that, you know.
Yeah, I'm like I don't think I could. I mean, I live 3 blocks from here. I have no kids, no nothing. You know, my girlfriend has kids, which that's a weird shift for me right now. But like, I won't even work there. I just walk here and work. Like when I'm here, this is when I don't know if the juices get flowing better or whatever, and like it makes me like focus more here than I would at home.
I think that makes sense. I mean, I have a home office that I feel that way when I go to that space, you know, but it allows me to be flexible and be able to bounce back and forth. And that's certainly not a struggle, but it's definitely something to adapt to. And it's like a realtor, you're always on, but then like you're off and it's just back and forth. It's kind of always on type situation. But yeah, I get that for sure. But I feel a different feeling when I get into my office, whether it's like creating or like jumping on a call. It's like I shift.
Yeah. How do you keep yourself motivated?
I mean, the kids help for sure. I don't know.
Do you coach or?
I don't coach. No.
Do you like follow people online?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who do you follow?
So I've actually in the past year I've really gotten into like some of the Tom Ferry ecosystem and kind of following. I mean, I basically coach without coaching by watching their stuff, you know, because they put out so much great stuff. I'm actually going, that's one of my other manifestations for this year is to go to a Tom Ferry event. So I'm going to Dallas in August.
Nice.
So, yeah. So that's on the horizon. Yeah, so just kind of following them and getting ideas and, you know, bouncing back, stuff like that. And then, you know, I can tell from your stuff, like you have a Gary Vee influence.
Yeah.
I know that for sure. And that, I think I've fallen off a lot with him just because the NFT stuff, the crypto stuff, it's just
I don't either. I do not watch Gary's content that much anymore because it just doesn't benefit me anymore because I have no interest in getting NFTs. I have no interest in doing the things like that. Like I think he's kind of like gone off his original path, which is fine because NFTs is what's hot right now. Right.
And it very well may be a great opportunity, especially in our space, but I'm just not there.
Yeah. So like I've done it. That him and Grant Cardone were like my 2 big influence when I first started. And even Grant, I don't really watch Grant's stuff anymore because Grant really just pushes his real estate investing, you know? And so like for me, it's like, but then like I'll go back to him every once in a while, like where I'll go back to Gary's old content. Yeah. Like his old videos, you know, things like that.
Old podcasts pop up.
Yeah.
He'll repost them.
Yeah, old podcasts, things like that. Like, sometimes it frustrates me that I cannot get, like I had a big goal of reading a lot of books this year and I just have zero motivation to read books. Because I think like last year I read a good amount of books and I just like read a book and then I'm like, I just wasted a week and there's nothing in here.
Or like one thing.
And I'm like, dude, you could have put that on page 1 and I would have, you know.
Got to get into Audible. See, I do door hangers. Like that's my big thing. Like I do, you know, I have a farm of 1,500 homes. I hit them every month with a door hanger at least once. So I have a lot of walking time. So Audible's like crazy for me. So
yeah, I just got to get back on it. It's just sometimes I feel like you sometimes get like overloaded in like content and like motivation and you know, like we just made a shift to a new company like 3 weeks ago and like I'm trying to like pace myself like you're not gonna be able to do everything like that they're trying that you're not trying to do everything that they're doing. So it's like pick one thing or 2 things and focus because we got like a new YouTube channel starting, new website, new CRM, new everything, and trying to be a productive agent. So
no, for sure.
And then still like work. Like I gotta meet a client today. Like
be a productive agent.
Totally the last thing I should be doing today is playing golf with a past client, but it's like he's been asking me to go and then so it's like, all right, let me go with you. And then now I gotta try to go to the Dodger game tonight and it's just like
So where do you get all of your clients? Like is it
social media?
All social?
Yeah, that's it.
Really?
I don't buy any leads. The podcast, well, the What's Good in Riverside podcast is a good not great, but like last year I pulled like 2 or 3 deals off of that. I have a developer like so we did 16 new homes last year. We're gonna do 35 this year.
Sweet.
That was, and it's so fun to be like, oh, you're so lucky to have that. I'm like, dude, that was a 2018 relationship. So I've been literally handling that relationship all that time. You know, went through COVID with him, like, and I'm involved in a lot of the decision making that I'm not getting paid on. You know, what lot should we buy?
Right.
What should we do this? How's the floor plan? I'm not making any money on those deals, you know?
Yeah.
And trust me, I'm not making 2.5%
Exactly.
a deal.
Right. Yeah.
Like I make a good living.
Yeah.
We have a good deal.
Right.
I'm very happy with my contract with him. It makes me consistent good money.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. But just past clients, obviously now, like I've been very fortunate to do, 200 and something deals in 5 years, 6 years. So obviously I have a good network of past clients, but I'm just
no
my
farm,
job,
no
farming. No, I've
mailers.
Dude, I've sent out I used to send out I probably sent over 30,000, maybe more than that, 50,000 postcards. Never got one call off of them.
Really?
I just kind of given up on it.
Yeah.
And I went to Side last year and they're like, oh, you need a postcard. And I was like, maybe I just did postcarding wrong. I'm like, okay, let's do this new. Never got a call off it. And then I was just kind of like, dude, why are you trying to do things that you don't believe in? Just do what you do now. Yeah. Something we do need to do this year that I've never done before is client events. I'm really terrible at those. I need to put those together. That's something that's really big. But
this is the perfect space for it.
Oh,
too.
for sure. I am just a very introverted person, as people might think that's not true, but I really am.
Yeah. Well, you're like, I feel like I'm similar in the sense that like you just like focus on like the task at hand and like, the task is communicating or the task is selling this place, whatever. Like it's hard to kind of
I think it's like, for me, it's like your doctor doesn't do this to you. He doesn't throw an event, or your lawyer doesn't throw an event. Your CPA doesn't throw an event.
Or some do.
Some do,
like
but not a
plastic surgeon will.
Maybe, but
so
it's
it just depends.
Maybe it's just like, dude, it's like I'm here when you need me.
Yeah.
You know, gotcha. And if you I just saw yesterday I sold their house like 2 years ago. They bought a house with someone else, and then I read in the notes, our close friend so and so, thank you so much, but I'm not gonna get that deal from them. Yeah. Like, they have a close friend that hangs out with them every single week for the last year or so, who probably just became a real estate agent, and I'm not gonna get that deal. I'm just some guy they called.
Yeah, I struggle with that in my farm, right? Like, 'cause I've hit this. I've been there for 10 years. Like, I've been hitting these doors for 10 years, and I see a new listing come up. I'm like, what? Why? Like, why did I not? And it's like some agent from, like South LA or something like that, and it's like, okay, well, I just have to assume that it's some type of family relation, friend, something like that.
That's the thing, guys.
It's so hard.
When you get in real estate, the people you think would use you might not even use you.
Yeah.
I think that's the crazy part. Like, people that like have hit me up like, yo, bro, like when we're gonna sell, like, you're our guy. But I've had so many people say that. But then one was a funny one. It was, yo, yeah, when we're ready to sell, we're hitting you up. Cool. I see their house go on the market. I end up showing it, and they end up using her new mother-in-law, who's a real estate agent.
Of course, why not?
Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
and you can't blame them. Yeah, you
like,
don't blame them.
You're not going to use me. You're going to use your mother-in-law. Yeah. So it's like, that's just part of the game.
And it works the opposite way, too.
I've done it to other people.
Exactly.
I've done it to other people.
Yeah.
I always say that all the time. I'm like, when you work with a random person, you're like, they know a real estate agent.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't use them, but I just think that's like, you just kind of not have to care.
Yeah.
And you just really have to do what you're going to do. Like, I think in real estate, I think ROI is pushed way too much. What's the ROI in this? What's the ROI in this? Like, what's the ROI on your podcast? What's the ROI on all your posts? What's your ROI on this? What is your ROI? Like, Gary Vee once said, someone's like, what's your ROI on this? And Gary's like, what's your ROI on your mother?
Right.
Like, who knows?
Right.
Like,
same question.
It's the same question. Your mom raised you right. What's the ROI? She taught you how to be a good person. That's going to make you more money.
Yeah.
I just think, like, I don't know. I don't coach either, so
if it feels like it's working,
just do what you want. Just do what you want to do every single day. If that is cold calling and you want to feel like doing that every day, do it. If you want to go out and knock 100 doors a day, go knock 100 doors. If you want to shoot content every day, make content. If you want to just go down through your phone, calling people on your phone, then do that.
Yeah.
Like, who cares?
Yeah.
And not everyone's going to like you. Like, as much as people think, I get called idiots in my posts all the time. And I always love when real estate agents argue with me in these things. I'm like, well, then make your own video then.
Yeah. I've actually been the past 2 weeks, I've actually started to get like some pushback or some questions on some things that I've communicated, because I feel like I'm getting more comfortable with, rather than just pushing out like facts, like adding your anecdotal opinion in there. And it's funny, like I feel like I've finally started to get that pushback, but that feels to be honest, it feels great to me.
I'm the guy that says buying a house is stupid.
Yeah.
And people always go like, why would you say that you're a real estate agent? Because you know why? Because I don't want people to think, like, I have sat down across sellers, and no one will ever know this, and I've sat across a seller and go, you shouldn't sell your house right now.
Yeah.
Why? Like, but those aren't, no one sees that, because it's not like I have a camera on me and me telling someone. So when people go like, yo, you're just a scummy real estate agent. Great. Cool. You've never spoken to me before.
Yeah.
You've watched one 30-second video.
No, I kind of,
If you're not getting
pushback,
if you're not getting pushback, you're not saying the right thing.
Yeah, I've actually kind of seen that and been like, okay, like I like this, you know, because it opens up conversation.
Yeah,
it helps the algorithm.
And if you're wrong, here's the thing: I made a video before coronavirus, or when Corona hit. I'm like, market's crashing.
Why did you say that?
Because I didn't think the government was going to bail everyone out. So I just thought, no one's going to have jobs. No one's going to be able to pay their rents.
Gotcha.
No one's going to be able to pay their mortgages. And we're just going to see a massive amount of houses. I thought we were going to go through a foreclosure market and prices weren't that high at that point. I mean, we've had 25% rate. So prices weren't that high. So I just thought, people are going to lose their houses, or they're going to not be able to pay their rent. I didn't know that the government was going to put a hold on foreclosures and allow people to go into this.
Well, then there was also like the emotion, like there's so many different facets that have benefited the real estate market as far as values and stuff, but there was like the emotional like change, and I live in an apartment in the city.
Yeah.
I need outdoor space.
Yeah.
I want to come out further. I'm not going to commute as much, so
I don't have to commute
at all.
Yeah.
So I think that like made I've seen so many, I'm in the Chino Hills market. So I've seen so many people on outskirts of LA. So like, your West Covinas, your La Habra, stuff like that have come a little bit further, get more for your money in these directions, and come in with a ton of cash because they're not commuting as much or, at all. So I feel like, especially markets like ours have benefited from that.
Oh, well, I mean, Inland Empire is the fourth or fifth highest population in the United States. We've had over 5 million people move here. Of course, prices are going to go up.
Yeah.
And like I started realizing, I had to start telling myself, there's no way the house is going to sell for that price. Boom, sold. And I just had to start telling myself, like, that's the norm.
Yeah.
Like, that is the question. Are we at a point in the Empire where the normal bottom end price for something nice is $650,000?
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, you got to move out of state. If
right.
Like I have a client right now, we're selling their house and moving to Alabama. They said we cannot live in California where we can't afford it. I agree.
Yeah.
Not everyone's meant to own a house in the highest price market in the world.
I used to say back when I first moved into like Chino, I was like, who in their right mind would spend $1 million on a house in Chino? Well, now it's just like,
it's normal.
Granted, it's definitely the upper tier, but it's a good sized house on a good sized lot. That's easily $1 million.
Well, it's out here. We've seen a lot more $1 million houses sell in the last 2 years, but we really haven't seen anything go above $2 million. Like our high end price point, we're starting to sell a little bit more of those. Like we actually, there's this really nice house, probably the nicest house I've ever seen listed in Riverside, sold in one weekend for $2.5 million, which that house was amazing. Like I would have paid $2.5 million for it. But that's the crazy part, is we still haven't seen like a lot of houses selling the 2 millions. Like still 2 million is still our max, but our bottom now, like you used to be able to, the house that I'm selling there at 2.1, we bought it for 223 4 years ago. That thing's gonna sell for 500.
Yeah.
And so you're just not gonna, like right now there's only one house in all of Riverside under 400 grand on the market, and it's been on the market for 50 days. So there's something obviously wrong with it, but you're just not gonna get anything under 400 grand here or anywhere else.
Yeah.
Even Beaumont, Banning, like if you want under 400 grand, maybe the high desert, high desert, or you're moving out of state.
Yeah, it's tough.
I don't know. I just think that's the reality that's going to happen. And the one nice thing about our markets is that it's kind of like, if it goes down, like if the stock market goes down or whatever recession, like a lot of our clients are not in the stock market.
Yeah.
So it's not really affecting them.
Right.
But if you're selling $5 million houses, $10 million houses,
it's huge swings.
Huge, because they have CPAs, they have this. Hey, this is a bad time to buy. Market's gone down 20% in the stock market. You've lost this much money. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As long as employment is
it's
relatively
all employment.
good.
And Inland Empire has 4.4 unemployment right now.
Yeah.
So we've seen we were right back to the norm before. Unless we see massive job loss, like I just don't see housing going down.
See, that's what I said for a long time, is especially just before COVID, that was the big thing, is like, even because people were saying the market was going to,
people said the market was going to crash. People said the bubble was crashing in 18.
Yeah. So that's what I said. I was like, the job market's we don't have the crazy loans, stuff like that. And now, obviously, over the past 2 years, like the equity levels are ridiculous. Like,
man, who's going to walk away from a house right now? Never. No one. The average equity in Riverside is 40%.
Yeah. Like nationally, it's like similar. Too.
Yeah. Why would you ever walk away?
Like half the homes are owned like outright. Like just crazy numbers.
The only places I think are going to get in trouble are like places like Austin or things like that have been building so much, and they're building so much, and they're trying to keep up with all these people coming. And then if that flow stops, then yes. But like Riverside County, I think there was only like 900 permits for new homes in the last year, maybe something like that. Like we don't have any housing, and we don't see a massive amount of housing coming up anytime soon anyways.
Yeah.
I just don't see it happening. But if you watch the wrong people, you listen to the wrong people, you can easily, I think the one thing people should have learned from COVID is that if you listen to certain people, right or wrong, I'm not arguing with COVID, or I'm not arguing with that.
Yeah.
But whoever you listen to, you will believe what they tell you.
Yeah.
And the human being mind, you keep hearing the same, but it's the same thing about being successful. You keep hearing the same thing over and over and over. If you hear the market's crashing every single day, and people are able to give you the facts in a certain way to make you think that, you will think the housing market's crashing. Just like people thought COVID was the next, was going to kill everyone. Yeah. I did for a little bit. I remember changing I would change my YouTube algorithm or YouTube email, because I would get in an algorithm when COVID just hit about all negative stuff about COVID. I'm like, and every video in there was negative COVID, and I was like freaking myself out, and I was like, dude, I gotta change my out. Can I get back to just like mountain bike videos?
Yeah. Just like neutralize it.
Yeah. I had to like restart my YouTube algorithm because I got sucked in the wrong.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true, man. So moving forward, like, what do you see yourself trying to do by the end of the year? Obviously, you're going to the Tom Ferry event. Maybe get a full-time assistant, but like what's your real main thing that at the end of the year, if you get this done, it was a good year for you?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people will set like production goals, number goals, whether that's a number of transactions, number of price point, whatever it may be. I used to do the same thing and reached them, whatever it may be. What I've been doing the past couple of years is kind of setting just like expectations to do on a consistent basis, and then they seem to have a funny way of working themselves out to be doing pretty darn well at the end of the year. So that's been kind of my thing, and one of them was the goal was to post a reel 3 to 5 days a week. Well, that transferred into just doing it every day, because I'm like, I shoot them batch content, and I'm like, well, I have these videos in a bank, might as well just use them. So I've done a video a day every single day since January 1st. And so like, that's been,
have you seen from January 1st to now, have you seen the consistency of more and more people?
Yeah. So I've seen, more followers, nothing crazy. I mean, like, I don't have crazy followers, but just, a couple a day. And whereas before last year, I didn't, you start an Instagram channel and you get a bunch because your friends and, people jump on. But since then, it's been slow and stuff like that. But I've seen follower count, kind of jump up here and there. And then, like I said, a little more commentary back and forth. And then additionally, like, I'll have like just conversations with people in person, or like just yesterday Sunday, got like a message from a guy I know, but just saying, hey, like, just to let you know, like, I've been watching your stuff. It's really cool, like educational. Appreciate that. We might be moving down, this and that. So it's been interesting to see.
Have you gotten your first deal off it yet?
Have I gotten a deal off it yet? That's one of those things. It's so hard to like know.
Have you gotten a deal from a DM?
Oh, from a DM? Absolutely. Yeah. This was crazy. Earlier this year, I posted, a friend of mine that I've known forever, she texted me and said, hey, this is the year, like, I'm planning to buy. I screenshotted that and posted it on Instagram, and had someone comment on that or message me on that saying, all right, this inspired me. We're ready to go. We're in escrow right now. Like, it's the simple, like, that took 4 seconds to do. Whereas, we put this production on for some
all
things.
This, right?
That took 4 seconds to repost, and it like just instantly was a client generator, type thing. So
I think that's the hard part too. Like, I hate when people come here and they're like, they look around. I'm like, you don't need all this. Like, this is just because I'm a weirdo.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need these mics.
Well, you didn't start here either.
No.
You know? Yeah.
No, I started, not even this room. This room used to just be a gray table in the middle, 2 chairs, and foam all over the walls. And then one day I walked in and I started seeing other realtors start doing podcasts. I'm like, this room sucks.
Yeah.
It's not good enough. We need to change it.
Right.
And then I just ripped everything down one day.
Yeah.
But I didn't need to.
Yeah.
But I will say this probably has done a little bit better.
For sure. But
Looks better.
But you don't need
But even
it.
like the touch, like, I mean, like, I think the excuse is the reason people don't post real estate content, is they're just not confident in what they're posting.
For sure.
That's
for sure.
all it is.
Whether it's good information or not, they're not confident
They're
in
just
themselves.
not confident in what they have to say. And then what people need to realize, like, if you're not confident to make a video, what do you think you are when you're in front of someone?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the thing. Like, the one great thing about posting, this is a question that maybe for you, if you feel this way, because I know I do, is like, I love making real estate content because every number I just shouted out today, which the only reason I know these numbers because I made a video about them.
Yeah, for sure.
So has that helped you a lot, like knowing more information?
Yeah, I do a weekly video on Wednesdays. It's the Chino and Chino Hills real estate update. It's super quick, like pretty simple statistics, but I reference them every week. I'm looking at them, so I'm knowing, okay, we're up 2 listings, we're up 5, we're the market action index is here, it's, different things like that. So I know what the median list price is every single week. So knowing that is nice. And then just being able to spit that out, like just off the tip of my tongue in a conversation, people are like, what, stuff like that. And then you kind of start to see trends and kind of feel it too. So, so that's interesting for sure.
Exactly.
But yeah, for sure.
I think that's the thing that people don't, ATM in a podcast. I'll call you when I'm done.
Cool, brother.
Later. Bye-bye. He's a listing client.
So. Oh, there you go.
He's actually the Christian rapper.
There you go.
Who got my guy.
Nice.
But yeah, I think like that is like, I try, whenever I go talk to an office, I always say that. I'm like, if you get no views off a video, but you learn that when you go meet that client, dude, if you can split that information out, dude, like it's solid. Yeah. Like T-Bone, he's a Christian rapper, but he's a rapper. I've been with him. He just starts freestyling.
Yeah.
You want to show people you're a rapper? You just start freestyling. You want to show yourself you're a top real estate agent? Just start throwing facts out there.
Yeah.
And if you're confident enough to say those things, like, dude.
Yeah, for sure. And it goes both coming the back way, kind of talking about your experiences. Like that's kind of what I've been trying to communicate in kind of my videos as well. A lot of them are pretty basic, definitive type things that people just don't understand. And then some are anecdotal, like, different, like when I had a buyer fall through the attic because they went up in the attic with the home inspector type thing. So, it's just different learning moments to share and stuff like that. But it all comes back to like, watching Gary Vee and stuff like that. The biggest thing was getting in front of the camera and just not caring really what people think.
Yeah, it's sad. It is honestly super sad how much people care about people they'll never even meet.
Yeah.
Like I know. And I always tell people too, like, when you do this, be prepared, because in our market, I don't know about Chino, but Riverside for sure, like no one does this. So when you start pushing the limit, like my first office, when I first started doing video, my first office, like the agents didn't like it because I was doing something that was increasing the level of expected from a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Just like this, like, now I have to shoot daily content. I have to now do. So if you're doing those kind of things, like be prepared that now you're raising the bar.
Yeah.
That people are not going to like that.
Yeah.
They're just not, because they don't want to do it.
Yeah. There's a realtor that I follow in the Tom Ferry ecosystem that he's up in Canada, and he makes like sick listing. Brad McCullough or something like that. Makes sick listing, like crazy sick listing videos. Well, now his area of Canada has like the most like video forward real estate agents because it's just basic. It's like, bottom level, it's got to start there.
And that's the thing, is that sooner or later, to survive in maybe not, what are we in, 22, maybe not 23, maybe not 25, maybe not 27, maybe not 30, but 2045, if you're not having video content available on the internet, because if you think that when someone meets you for the first time, they don't Google your name, you're dumb. Because I Google people's names all the time.
Yeah.
And then you check them out, like, oh, what's this? What's that? If they go to your Instagram page and you have nothing, then that's, or Or agents that are like, oh, I do this many deals. Zillow says you don't. Oh, well, I don't. Well, then why? Like, if you do that many deals, why is Zillow not like? That's a platform that someone's gonna look your name up. Why don't you like? Come on.
Yeah.
Stop. So.
Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thanks
Appreciate
for coming
you.
by.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah. We'll check this one off the list.
Yeah, that you can finally check this one off the
That's
list,
it.
man.
Yeah,
I think that's been the coolest thing about doing this. Even when the What's Good in Riverside or this, like. People out here don't do podcasts.
Yeah.
People. No one's ever invited them onto something.
Yeah.
And you're now the second person this month. Like the first girl, she's like same thing. Like I've told myself this year I'm gonna get out there.
Yeah.
And you know what? My biggest podcast ever.
Yeah.
Like she's like, are you serious? I'm like, you were my like 60 hours watched of her podcast in the first like 2.5 days. And I was like, can you just come on every week?
All right, we're going 65.
Yeah,
Let's do this.
So, well, appreciate
Cool.
you, man.
Yeah, appreciate you.
Obviously, everyone will have his stuff in there. So if you're in Chino, follow him.
Yeah.
And until next time, guys, peace.